That's one of the hardest question there is, because it's a question about humans. It's not a question about Python or or SageMaker or whatever. It's very hard. Like in my experience working with like dozens of organizations that are our previous customers or current customers or friends that I have all over the industry, the cultural aspect is the hardest one to change. In fact, a lot of the pushback we have with our bigger bot repo or other solution that we put out as open source is like, well, you're lucky because they allow you to do all of these things in your company. But in my company, there's a team for data, there's a team for model, there's a team for deployment or whatever. You can kind of map this into your own experience. So for us, this is the mother of all battles if you can fight it. And we subscribe to the idea of the end-to-end machine learning practitioner, data scientist, or whatever. There is a person that can see the data that has been cleaned and prepared, of course, by data expert, but can see the data, can prepare his own feature, can train his own model, and can ship it out. And everything we do, going back to the thin slice idea, is to empower one person, even one person, maybe more, but it can even be one person, to be able to do all of this and produce business value without ever talking to anybody else, without talking to a DevOps person, without talking to an engineer, without talking to security, without talking to anybody. Everything else that is not abstracted away enough so that one machine learning engineer can go from data to endpoint, it's an opportunity for improvement. And the more companies understand this, the more fruit they're gonna get out of their ML initiative. Like one of the problem of company that starts out with a small team of data scientists is that instead of making them embedded into the company, workflow and culture, they put them in like a silo to do notebooks or whatever it is on their laptop. And then after 1 year, we read, Gartner says that 97% of project never made to production or whatever. Like my LinkedIn feed is literally filled with Gartner saying that people never ship stuff to production. So my LinkedIn feed is very boring. I mean, we can say it's the fault of the data scientists, maybe, but we kind of didn't really set them up for success, right? We kind of put them in a bubble and do some magic stuff. And now, whatever magic they do, for us, it's impossible to consume in the company. So my suggestion for people starting up is counterintuitive, but start with very few people and kind of get people that understand the end-to-end value. They don't need to be the best people in modeling. They don't need to be the best people at SQL. They don't need to be the best people in infrastructure, but they understand all of this problem, okay? I understand these people tend to be expensive because, there are not very many people that actually have done this before end-to-end. But one or two people that knows what they're doing will make all the next 10 hires like infinitely more productive. If you do the other route, which is hiring 20 people that know PyTorch out of a university, which I've seen that happening like so many times, now you have 20 people that are relatively expensive, maybe less expensive per person, but relatively expensive, that run around to find data, shipping notebook, nothing ever gets done. And now after 1 year, the exec says, well, this ML thing doesn't work. Maybe, for sure it doesn't work like that. But I suggest another approach. When you hire expert people first, you build productivity tool, and then you hire people to actually do the modeling and to kind of, improve on that. So that would be my suggestion for people starting up. But again, this is the hardest battle because it's a cultural battle. It's not like a technical fight.